好，大家好，我们现在来看一下第8课打工的语法。好，我们有5个语法点。Directional complements is used to indicate results. And 第2个是 rhetorical questions， 第3个是来，第4个是不是就是，第5个是借。好，首先 directional complements， 我们学过很多 directional complements， 比如出来比如上来、下来、上来、上去、进去、出去、起来等等等等很多很多。好，那么 here we're going to use these directional complements to indicate results rather than directions. 第一个我们看出来，我们先看例句。第一个例句，他做出来的菜又好吃又好看。So the dishes he made are delicious and pretty. So before he started cooking, there was nothing there. But after his hard work of cooking, guess what? We got this really nice food. 那我们再看第2个例句，他想出来的方法很好。So he found out a really good solution. Now, before he started to really spend time thinking over it, there was no solution at all. But after he worked hard thinking over, and he found a way to solve the problem. So from these 2 examples, we can see 出来 used after a verb could mean something from non-existing to existing, or from something unclear to clear, or something invisible to visible. 好，那我们现在再看另一个 directional complement 下来我们先看例句。第一个句子，房间里安静下来了。So the room quiet down. Before, probably there were a lot of things going on in the room. People moving around, or pets, or a lot of events. So it was quite noisy. But now it quiet down. 好，那我们看第2个句子，火车慢下来了。So the train before moved really fast, but now slowed down. So you can see by using 下来, in this case, we put the 下来 after 2 adjectives, 安静 versus 慢。好, these 2 adjectives behave more like verbs. So we're saying the status of the room changed from being quite noisy to quiet, and the train changes from moving really fast to really slow. Maybe in the end, it stopped altogether. So we can see we use 下来, we can indicate a status of something or someone changed from a rather dynamic status to relatively more static status. 好，那么下来呢 can be used in another way. 我们看第一个句子，他把生日蛋糕切下来一大块。So we all had a birthday cake before, and a birthday cake could be really a really large one. Now, he only cut 1 piece from this huge birthday cake. 好，那我们再看第2个。张天明把周末的时间省下来复习。好，那么周末 including 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. So we are talking about 48 hours. Now, this is a big piece of time. If we consider this 48 hours as a whole piece, then we can save maybe like 1 hour, 2 hours, okay, only part of this whole piece to do something else. In this case, is to review. So this 下来, when we use the 下来 after a verb, we're saying we separate something from the original whole piece, and so we only have a smaller piece. Okay, a smaller piece is separated from the original whole piece. 好, with this in mind, let's look at some sentences and see whether you can choose the correct expressions here. Now, you can pause my video before we look at the next slide and see whether or see which phrase you will choose here to complete the blank, to fill in the blank and to complete the sentence. 好 we'll come back. 我们看第一个，我看出来你心里有心事。我看出来 I saw. OK? 好，那么说出来spell it out. OK? So 出来 from non-visible to visible. 说出来 from not existing to existing. Before, this person didn't say anything, but now 说出来, speak it out. Okay, so now take a little time before you move to the next slide and ask yourself which one should I put in each blank. Okay, so now let's take a look at it. 把饭钱住宿费都省下来. So if you consider all the expenses that you pay, things like for your meals and for your accommodation, cell phones or utilities, all these expenses as a whole piece, then by moving back to your parents' house, you can save part from this whole piece, like the expenses for your meal or accommodation. 所以省下来. Okay, now 我们看第二个. This is very similar with the example we gave earlier. 好，想出来，办法. So to after spending some time, you find out a solution. You came out with a solution. 好, now we move to the next one, rhetorical questions. 好，那么 rhetorical questions, we use all these sentences to make our what things we want to express more powerful. Okay, one interesting thing about rhetorical question is the real meaning of the sentence usually is the opposite from the surface meaning. Let me give you an example. 第一个，我什么时候说帮你了？ So when do I say that I will help you? So on the surface, it means it sounds like a question. When do I say I will help you? But the meaning actually is the opposite. The real meaning is the opposite. It means I never said I will help you. 好, now let's look at the second one. 这样的坏事为什么要做呢? Why do this kind of bad deeds? But the real meaning actually it's the opposite. You should not do a bad deed like this. Okay. 好，那我们看第三个。谁说我喜欢他了? Who said that I like him? What you really want to say is, I don't like him. 好, now, if the original form is in a negative form, then the real meaning will be a positive one. 比如说，我没告诉你吗? So, on the surface, it means, didn't I tell you? I didn't tell you. But the real meaning is, I told you. 好，那么第二个，你没看出来吗? You didn't find out? But the real meaning is, you should definitely find out because it's so obvious. 我们看第三个句子，我已经给他留了个条子，难道他没看见? So 难道 is used in rhetorical questions a lot to emphasize the point the speaker tries to make. In this case, the speaker tried to say, I already left a note. He should know.